by the time this episode comes out, who knows what more developments would have happened in this whole story that is Donald Trump stealing classified documents from the White House. And of course, what happened days after that, an armed man who allegedly tried to breach the FBI field office was killed by police after an hours-long standoff. So a Trump supporter, a domestic terrorist, a Republican domestic terrorist, fueled by the information given to him by Fox News, by politicians, Republican politicians, decided to arm himself and go to attack the FBI for serving a search warrant at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate to retrieve classified documents he did not hand over when asked to hand over. And he is apparently being investigated potentially for the Espionage Act. He potentially had documents with nuclear information, with nuclear weapon information. Just some bad stuff. Potential names and salaries of spies the United States has. Just a lot of bad things that a worthless, failed reality TV show host, racist, misogynistic, failed businessman. The dude has filed bankruptcy for more businesses than most people have ever started. A guy who's failed at marriage, a guy who's failed at raising competent children, a guy who is ashamed to disclose his grades from school, a guy who's barely able to function and form complete sentences, along with the Republican Party, has encouraged another domestic terrorist attack. Is it surprising? No, that's what they do. That's what Fox News does. That's what Congress people like Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene and all the other fascists, the Nazi supporters, the white supremacists of the Republican Party. This is what they encourage. They literally celebrated a child who murdered protesters. A child who traveled to a different state with an assault rifle to murder in cold blood two people who were protesting First Amendment rights. Of course, Kyle Rittenhouse got off with murder because of some technicalities and some just poor legal system stuff in Wisconsin, but they celebrated him. They turned a multiple murderer, into a celebrity. And now he goes around complaining that life is so hard. People don't like him now that they know that he killed people. I don't want to, pay. I don't want to have to suffer the consequences of my action. Why doesn't society just forget it? Why don't they love me like the Republicans love me? Even the CPAC, the conservative conference that they did, on their big display, they promoted that they are all domestic terrorists. They know they're domestic terrorists. They take pride in the fact that they're domestic terrorists. Ted Cruz takes pride in the fact that part of his attire, part of his boots have a symbol that is associated with domestic terrorists on it. He takes pride in it. They all take pride in it. That's the messaging they push. So when stuff like this happens, this is what they want to happen. They can't do it themselves, so they have to just encourage. They have to encourage the regular citizen into doing stuff like this. And it's not surprising. It's not surprising. And it's insane how they say that like they broke into his house. They didn't break. It wasn't like the FBI didn't treat Donald Trump like the police treated Breonna Taylor. The FBI did not break into his house with a no-knock warrant, which some conservatives are pushing that narrative. They didn't break into his house. They served him with a warrant to obtain materials that he had possession of that were listed on the warrant that Trump did not want. Trump could have offered that up if he wanted to show people what the FBI was there for. It states that in the warrant, what they are there for, along with the time and place. We know those aspects. We just didn't know what they were there for. And then, you know, the district or the guy in charge, you know, he went to file to get that released so the people could know what Donald Trump has. And apparently stuff has been leaked. We found out a lot of things. And it's like, oh, surprising, one of the worst people on the planet, who was one of the worst presidents of this country, has been doing illegal stuff like he does. That's how he survives. That's the reason why he has money. It's not because he is a successful businessman. It is because he is successful at laundering money. He is successful at avoiding paying taxes. He is successful at potentially murdering his own ex-wife and burying her on the front lawn, the golf course. Not a good guy. And I absolutely love how many of the insane clown posse are just descending upon Mar-a-Lago. All of the Trump fans just like clogging up streets with their flags, cheering him on. I want them all to go there. I want them to be as close as possible to Trump at all times. I want his neighbors to see the support that he has. I want Trump to be constantly surrounded by the people he does not have any respect for. He only cares about their money. He doesn't want them around him. He doesn't want their company. He's not the man of the people. He is the man who takes the money from the people. So I love seeing that they're all there cheering him on. I want more of that. They should treat Mar-a-Lago like Mecca. And they should all descend upon Mar-a-Lago. They should force themselves to get as close to his house as possible. To just protect their Lord and Savior, Donald Trump, who's probably not even there. Like the fact that they're all there around his place, he's probably off at another house. He's probably, you know, whatever dictator that he has stolen these documents for, he's hooked up at one of their places. But I don't know. I hope something happens. I'm not going to hold my breath that he will ever be indicted. I'm not holding my breath that he will ever be in prison, even though he deserves everything, the full extent of the law. I'm not even going to hold my breath that Biden won't pardon this motherfucker. Just because that seems like what politicians do. It's like, oh, you know, he's charged with a thing. He can never be president again, so I'll pardon him. I can see him doing that. I mean, Biden is pretty conservative. He's done a lot to help out Mitch McConnell. So I can see him doing some stuff to help out Trump too. I hope he doesn't, but I'm not going to hold my breath. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on YouTube and everywhere our podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at inspireddisorder.com/plus. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. And follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can